Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome back if you've been here before, or just welcome if it's your first time. I'm Jimmy, and this is First Gen Mini Rescue. However, this is not a mini, this is a trailer. But let me read the fortune, and then I'm going to tell you really quick what I got to do. And it's hot outside. It's 90, well, today's high, supposed to be 99 degrees Fahrenheit with a heat index above 100. So as you can see, I hope you can see me, but this shirt is one of those try to keep you cool, wicks off your sweat, whatever. Anyway, today's fortune. To be upset over what you don't have is to waste what you do have. So that's another way of saying, be happy with what you have, not with what you want, things like that. So, but don't overlook what you do have. Enjoy what you do have. Don't think about what you may want or be striving for in the future. At the same time, live for today and what you have, and enjoy what you have. So anyway, there's a million ways to say it, but it all means the same thing. Be thankful and enjoy what you have in front of you, and don't worry about things will get better when X happens in the future, So anyway, today, like I said, it's really hot, and I'm only going to be out here for maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes. If you work outside, stay hydrated. If you work outside by yourself, like I do when I'm doing my bees, let somebody know when you go out and when you come back, because that way they'll know that you've, made it back or whatever. Because if you pass out there working bees, it might not be a good thing, or it definitely wouldn't be a good thing. Anyway, so if you work outside, especially if you're working alone, let someone know. It's kind of like filing a boat plan when you're on a boat, a float plan. Where you're going, what time you expect to arrive, what time you expect to leave, all those things, so that somebody, if they don't hear from you, can start the ball rolling to find out if you're okay. Anyway, so we're going to be using this van for camping this week. And so we're not going to camp in the van. However, we're just taking everything and we're using the van as our transport, putting everything in there because we're taking a lot of extra stuff. But anyway, but I do have to disconnect the trailer from this, and I'm actually going to park it in the little parking spot that I use right behind me in between these trees where I parked the trailer. But I want to show you a little tip for some people who, if you back your trailer and you park it where you normally, would leave it, and then you got to come back and hook it up, whether it's a boat trailer, an RV, whatever it is, and you got a tow vehicle like this, and you just leave the trailer in that spot, and then you come back with that same tow vehicle. Let me show you one quick way, because I don't have a backup camera on here, but let me show you one quick little tip as to how I get back in the same spot. Let's just say for demonstration purposes, I'm leaving the trailer right here, and then, come back next week and I want to hook back up to this trailer. What I would do is, once the trailer is in its spot, I would let the tongue down, which I'm actually going to do now because I am going to move this with my yard mule. But so you would let it down. I got a block over there, but I'll do that. But when the van or your tow vehicle is in this spot, take a piece of wood, just stick it right in front of the tire, right in front of your back tire, with about an inch or so sticking out, and do the same for both sides. And now, when you go to back up to this trailer, once you lift the trailer up off the ball, it's up about an inch above the ball, so you're not going to have to worry about it. When you stop with your wood about an inch from the width of the tire, you should see it in your side view mirrors on both sides. Then you're lined up perfectly for your trailer. Just a quick tip. Some people will use wheel chocks. Just put a wheel chock right there, and you just As long as you can see the side of the wheel chock, you're pretty much even. So that's how you line up a trailer. Let me show you one other thing I did modifying the trailer. I told you I was gonna add extra lights so that I could see when the lights were working on the trailer. So let me show you what I did. So on both sides of the trailer, I added a license plate frame, right? And it's just a license plate frame, aluminum, got it off of Amazon. It was a 2-piece. And it was only like $6 for the 2 of them. I'm gonna end up cutting these wings off because I just need the middle piece. I drilled a couple of holes and put a couple of just red lights, indicator lights. They're tied into the everyday marker lights is the outside one. And then the signal light, stop light, brake light is the inner one. So I can look in my rear view mirror and I can have an indication that my lights are on and functioning. I got one on this side and one on the other side. So that, let me use the key right now. And so when I lock the van, because it's still plugged in, when I lock the van, the lights flash 3 times. So 1, 2. So that means that it's hooked up and I can see that in my rear view mirror on both sides of the trailer. Unlock it, it should just flash once. So that's, and then if I have, and that's the inside, is the stop light, signal light, like I said, hazards. The outside bulb here is just when I have my driving lights on in the van. And that way I can always look in the mirror and say, oh, my lights are on and my connection is still good. You might hit a bump and the connection's not good. If I don't see the light here, pull over, fix it, don't get a ticket. Anyway, so that's my modification that you didn't see. Like I said, I'm gonna cut these little wings off because they're not needed. My license plate is actually on the tailgate. So I'm gonna disconnect the trailer, move the van out the way. Okay, that's about it. Because it's hot, like I said, and I'm going in the house to stay hydrated. I'm gonna check on my neighbor because I see him doing stuff outside. So I'm gonna check on my neighbor, and you should too. I use the same trick with the wood behind for the riding mower, but it's so small, you just turn around and look and see. You could obviously see. But for those of you who, you know, like I said, you got a boat and you park it in the same spot, you use the same vehicle to trailer it, do the wood trick if you can leave it out there. If you can't leave a wood trick out, wood, paint just a L with a little white paint or anything, you know, chalk. Chalk would go away, but a little paint an L, you put your tires in that L, you're lined up. Anyway, all right, that's it. I'm gonna get the box that I wanna get out of there, put that in the house so I can assemble my extractor, and sometime next week when I get done with camping, I'll do some extracting for the honey. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna get this box in the house, get it opened up and assembled. That's the honey extractor that I got. And wait a minute, I'm watching a bird go in my storeroom, and I hope they're not making a nest inside. I had enough of that nest stuff, remember? Anyway, so I'm gonna get this box in the house, and the rest of the stuff for the van I'll do tomorrow because I'm at my limit, 1 hour being out here because of the heat. So again, be careful if you're outside working in the heat. Check on your neighbors, check on your family members. If you know somebody who doesn't have AC in their house, invite them over to your house. have a cup of water and talk for, you know, a few hours. Watch your fellow neighbors, all right? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Come back and see me, and sooner or later we'll get back to some more mini videos and other maintenance, you know, and yeah, we'll get everything going. All right, thank y'all, and have fun with your minis. For those of you with convertibles, it's okay to put the top down and still have the AC on. That's what we do. All right, bye y'all.